Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. Listen closely as your coaches discuss the culture, the economy, and the political scene, and how it affects your home and your real estate investments. Real Estate Chalk Talk is where you learn the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. Your education begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, hittnergroup.com, Hittner Group.com, 612-627-8000. That's the number to call, 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling. Be happy to have a chat with you about your real estate needs, and that call, of course, is no cost and absolutely no obligation, 612-627-8000. Okay, got some updates and statistics, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since last week. Housing Wire reports that, listen to this one, Keith.
Listening intently.
Housing Wire reports that 36% of all, and this is nationally now, but you know something? Just to digress a second, our Twin City market really mirrors the national market. I mean, it's amazing. When you go through the stats and stuff like that, it's really pretty spot on. Big data, Keith. That's big data.
Yeah, and also we're kind of like, you have the coasts that are expensive, and then we're in Middle America.
Yep.
And,
we're like
like the average.
The average.
We're average Joes around here.
Getting back to it, 36% of all active listings have had at least one price reduction. That's a lot.
36%.
36% have had at least.
36% haven't.
Well, we just came through a time period when most homes sold for above the asking price.
Yeah.
So when you're having listings now doing price reductions, and the caution there is when you're bringing a home on the market, be thoughtful about how you're pricing it, because the last thing you want to get yourself in a situation is when you're chasing a market going downhill, because you seem to never get in front of that ball.
Yeah.
And if you do, it runs you over. So
over your skis.
Get over your skis. Median sale price. Listen to this one. So here's Minnesota. Got the housing report from the Minnesota Realtor Association. So, and this is statewide now.
Okay.
Sales price, average sales price, $350,000, up 2.9% versus May of last year.
Median
sale price.
Okay.
The median sale price for the last 8 weeks in the 7-county metropolitan area is $425,000. Median sale price for the last 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. The reported median sale price for the Twin Cities is $385,000. So I think once we get past this next quarter cutoff and they redo their numbers and stuff like that, you're going to be seeing
pop up.
You're going to see that median sale price pop up. Yeah.
I can't believe how many smaller loan amounts we're doing right now. 185, 200, in the twos.
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
twos,
good
a lot
though.
Of a lot of the townhome stuff, a lot of condo stuff, inexpensive stuff.
Well, I
think breaking into the
man,
owning their first house. That's good.
Well, I think when you see interest
expensive
rates
to get money.
It
is.
So then the people they're waiting.
Yep.
And then you're seeing it's like anything else. When prices go up, the cheap products go off the shelf.
Yeah.
Because people are trying to save a buck.
Yeah.
And higher cash down payments. Are you seeing higher cash down payments?
We are. Well. Yeah, we're seeing more money down, but so much of it's coming from these grant programs, first-time home buyer programs, that it's artificial money going down. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that in the fourth segment, though.
Average days on the market statewide, 37 days. Metropolitan area, 7-county metropolitan area, 23 days on the market. 7-county metropolitan area listings right now available, listing 6643, up just a skosh from only 95, about 100 more from last week. So that that inventory coming on the market is starting to slow. If you look at back pre-COVID days, though, 2019 pre-COVID was 8,688 for this week. So still significantly down, 2,000 units down from pre-COVID in terms of homes available for sale. Still kind of ticking along at that 1,000 units a week. For sailing through. It was 987 last week, 994 this week, 1,085 the week before. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of cruising along.
Seeing any slow up with the being in mid-June here?
I believe that we're going to have. We've been busy this June just because we're wrapping up stuff, right? So we got a lot of closings for this week. They were just closings. But then if I look out forward, it's like, ooh, she's a little thin. Not a lot in the pipeline. I think we're going to have our, when I first started and for 2 decades, July was just a dead month. We used to always take our vacations in July. Remember
you always told me take your vacation over July 4th.
Take vacation in July. Go July 4th. The whole month of July was just nothing.
Yep.
Because you had the 4th of July. It was summertime. People were up at their cabins. It was just a dead month. And so if you're going to leave at any time of the year, leave in July. And I think we're going to see that again this year. It's just kind of like...
We've been going out west over the 4th of July for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Granby, Colorado, and every year I sell a house while I'm in Colorado.
Yeah.
Every year.
That's
and we
good,
drive out there.
Hey, when you need a deal.
Every year he calls me.
Yeah, when you need a deal,
hey,
go on
Dad,
vacation.
can you?
Yeah, can you do something for me? But I'm doing that right now, so the conversation is like we should list now. So I have a house coming on right now because the 4th of July weekend is basically, next weekend
Lost.
And the following weekend because 4th of July is like smack dab in the middle of the week.
Is
it's
it
like Wednesday, Thursday?
Is it Thursday?
Is it Thursday?
Yeah, so you'll get people taking vacations before and then catching it through the week, and then the following weekend will be busy with like your festivals and all that crap around town, which are just
Are you doing something for 4th of July?
We're going out to Granby, Colorado.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
traveling with my kids out to Granby, Colorado, and so
drive or fly?
yeah, driving.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a long drive. It's 1,000 miles.
Painful.
It's fun. I like it. So
You like it. Your
I
kids
like
will
it. It's
hate
fun. Anyways, so
Okay.
we're putting a house on the market then this week. So this weekend, you listen to the show this weekend. It's 11011 Yukon in Bloomington. It's got a pool. It's a walkout basement. It has all new carpet and paint. The kitchen's been updated. Main level laundry. It's got 2 offices on the main level, formal dining space. It has a cool 4-season porch, nice big deck overlooking the pool and backyard. Landscaping's dialed in, 4 beds up, full owner suite, vaulted ceilings upstairs, vaulted ceilings in the main level. Basement's got the wet bar. Great entertaining house.
What kind of price
close
range
to,
you on that?
Close to Dred Scott on the west side of Bloomington, so it's convenient, like 169 Old Shakopee, and then just south, so it's just right off the river bluffs.
Perfect.
Excuse me. And that one is what do we put it on for? $869.9. So
really? Okay.
really cool house. There's a couple comps that are on right now. One pending at $875, and another one on for $875. So the price is right in there.
Dialed in.
That's a great price.
Yeah,
actually.
great.
And it's the perfect time of the year.
Great
to put a
house. It's
like
like
that.
44, 45. It's 4,560 square feet. So it's a really, really nice house. Neighbors are good. It's on a cul-de-sac. Some of the other houses in there have sold for more. So the price is right.
Good job.
Cedar shake roof. It's a beautiful home. Beautiful home. Windows are all in great shape. Mechanically sound. Great storage in the house yet too.
So prices have not come down, right? I mean, everything is staying up, but inflation plays into that, right? So you're actually considering that there's inflation. Maybe houses aren't as expensive as they would have been without inflation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, but all appreciation is a function of inflation. I mean, that's what appreciation is. A house doesn't get more valuable just because. It gets more valuable because of costs that are driven by what it would cost to replace the house and what it costs to purchase a similar property. And the similar property many times is always driven by new construction. So if you have a 3-bedroom home in a regular neighborhood I'm just picking numbers out of the air now, it's $300,000, say. Okay. Now we're going to build that new house in a new development, same house, same size, 3-bedroom, and that one now costs $385 to build or $400 to build. Mm-hmm. Well, that by its nature now, because of that cost pressure on the new construction, makes that $300,000 house able to sell for a little bit more. That's appreciation. Mm-hmm. And it's because of the cost driving of the new construction.
And those prices are
in part. If we were at 0% inflation, that $300,000 house would be $300,000 next
Right.
year.
Yeah. Or I mean, supply and demand also
Correct.
will
Yes,
increase
absolutely.
your. I mean, because we had that for a couple of
Because
years.
you
where
saw houses go up faster than inflation.
that was a
couple-
supply and
for
demand
sure. That was a
scenario
supply
for
and-
sure.
Yeah. But it didn't ever come down from that, though.
No.
Right. So I'm even looking at it as if I want to buy something faster today because inflation is going to continue.
Right.
And so then I'm going to be able to pay that off with cheaper money because I'm going to get paid more to do the same work.
Correct.
Because of inflation.
Yes.
So lock in now instead of wait a year.
You
Yes,
just
you would
you
hope
just
so.
in a nutshell explained the whole value of purchasing hard assets, and real estate
Yeah.
being one of them. You buy today,
It's safe.
borrowed
It's
money,
safe-ish.
and then pay it back in the future with cheaper dollars because inflation
Right.
does all that. Okay, this is we got to head out and pay some bills. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk, 612-627-8000, 612-627-8000. We'll be back right after these very important messages. Hey there, welcome back to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. HittnerGroup.com, Hittner Group. Hey, that's all one word, kids. HittnerGroup.com. That's how they do it in websites, Keith.
Yeah.
HittnerGroup.com, 612-627-8000. We've got Mike with RTD Companies in the studio. Soap prices are up. Talk about inflation. Soap costs more money, so when you're scrubbing the parking lot ramps and stuff like that, it costs a little bit
No,
more.
no, everything goes up. And then I was thinking, too, what about, aren't there more requirements to build a house today than there was 10 years ago?
Oh, my God.
Okay, well, that obviously
Unbelievable.
adds prices,
Oh.
the cost to it. So that kind of pulls up these other houses, too, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of conversation now about new regulation, like green regulation, that they're trying to put forth for new, like all new construction, which will increase the cost of the home like 20, 30 grand on the top.
Right.
So when you're already in an inflationary environment, building costs are costing more. Permitting is
Ridiculous.
ridiculous. You talk to any builder, they're like, you can't do anything for under 100 grand, not including the dirt. So, and then you have all this new regulation that they're trying to put forth for green requirements that are going to add another $30,000 to a build. It's just going to continue to get more expensive for people and pushing. Who does that hurt? All of this.
Everybody.
It's everybody, but it doesn't hurt me as much. It's the lower middle class,
Right.
middle class and lower that are trying to break into owning
Young
their own
families
homes.
trying to come in.
The cost, the inflationary environment with interest rates and things like that, all of this hurts the lower middle class. And to tout for the average
Right.
Joe, it's just all BS.
Yeah.
And then you go to some communities and the permit to build a house, it's $7,000. You go to another community, the permit to build a house is $35,000. Well, it's the same work
For a permit.
for a permit. So, I mean, it's just a money grab on the part of the city. They say, oh, we got people coming in here. This is an opportunity for the city to make some money. And so there's no reason why that fluctuation has to be between one city or another. It's just how much they want. And so they charge as much as they can possibly charge because it's money into the coffers of the city. And they have a limited resource because when the lots are full, when it's full, it's full. So they can charge like crazy for about 5 years or however long, 10 years while the city's being built out. After that, there's no more lots in the city, and those building permit fees are going to go away. So, on one hand, you can't really blame them. They're just taking advantage of the situation. But it does make building and development. That's why you see home sites getting so small, and you see designs go more Pullman style, where they're long and skinny, and you pull up to the house and all you see is the garage because you
And you have to walk around on a little.
and you got to walk around it because you don't have a wide enough lot to actually see a house. And so, in my opinion, what happens there is you are creating a lot of ugly communities because all you're looking at is different garages. So, what do? Put a nice looking garage door in your house is about all you can do. And then you've got some windows above. You can put, something maybe
Building up.
build up and, put some shakes or something to try to dress it up a little bit. But it's really.
Well, you kind of lose the whole community feel, don't you? I mean,
Well,
wasn't that
you
kind of
do.
a thing for a while? There are no porches, so nobody comes out and sits on their porch to
Right.
talk with their
Yep.
neighbors.
Mhm. Yeah, and so I wouldn't be surprised, and it's been tried in Stillwater and Apple Valley and some other places where you had that mandated, and they mandated to put the garage behind. So now you've got long, skinny driveways with a garage behind because they want the porch in front. Okay, but we do live in Minnesota, and that driveway is going to fill up with snow. And now you've got this very long driveway, and it's like, well, where are we going to go with the snow now? Because we still have these narrow lots. It creates a problem in a northern climate of what to do with that. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some communities coming back with alleys. And they've done that in some townhome communities where the garages are loaded from behind, and you have like a common drive area where the cars go. And that's what they did in the city. I mean, look at the city. You drive down oh, look at that beautiful house on there. You don't see a garage because the garage is in the back off the alley. And that's a kind of a good thing, I think. I mean, it's a beautiful design because you do drive down some of those streets, and as we drive around in the core cities,
sucking up that valuable real estate with more roads, though.
Yeah, and that's another thing. There you got another road to be plowed, another surface to be maintained, and resurfaced, and all.
But
of
RTD Services could come out, plow that road for you.
So why don't you give us a little rundown of your company? I was just talking.
We do that.
I was talking about you yesterday because I met with an architect. I had coffee with him, and he's talking about building his business, and I used you as an example because I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Talk about your businesses and how you're seasonally driven with your businesses, because I think it's fascinating.
Okay, well, yeah, the way my elevator thing is, we're a calendar-driven company. Time of year depends on what we're doing. So April through September, we power wash and stain decks, fences, gazebos, porches. We wash parking garages, really, really big ones, U of M, United Health, that sort of thing, and then any condo. Like what you guys were just talking about the whole snow thing. Every single apartment building has underground heated garage, and there's very little surface area to plow. But we wash those. And then we also wash trucks for FedEx, Unify, Coca-Cola, any company that has trucks. We wash those. That's kind of year-round. And then we do Christmas lighting, and then we do snowplow, and both commercial and residential. So the residential we do is in Roseville, and we use farm tractors. And we don't use blades. We use big farm tractors with big snow blowers on it, so you just blow the snow exactly where you want it to go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And then the commercial is what you expect. Plow trucks, skid steers, payloaders, things like that.
I was over at his shop last week and saw one of his new water trucks. Those things are so well put together.
Yeah,
where really they just wash the trucks and all that. It's unbelievable.
What struck me, and Kelvin showed me a couple of the pictures, is the language that you've got painted on your garage doors going out. Tell the listeners.
Well, okay, so we got into this thing, you guys. I've talked to you guys about it before. Traction. It's a book called Traction. Guy that wrote the book is Gino Wickman, and it's a way to run your business called EOS. And it has been unbelievably phenomenal for us, like you wouldn't even possibly imagine. And it's a way to do it. So you read a business book normally, and it's thoughts and concepts and stuff, but it's not concrete. Where this is do this. And one of the things you do is you come up with your core values. And that was a fascinating experience. It's like, okay, we all live by core values. So we probably can't define them. The exercise was take your best 3 employees and tell us why they're the best. And so we have 3 great guys. I mean, we have a bunch, but 3 guys that are like unbelievable. One of them, a guy named Brandon. What makes Brandon so great? Well, man, he's always on time. He can think on his feet, always gets the job done. Customers love him, never lets you down. And you just list them all out. And then you do the same for the second and third guy. And then you start crossing out the things that are the same, always on time, a little bit early. That's kind of the same. And I wanted to get down to 3, but we got down to 4. And it's show up, get things done, do the right thing, and grow or die. Those 4 things. And then what you do is you make every single decision based on those 4 things. You hire, fire, buy stuff, sell stuff based on those 4 things. And it comes up all the time. We talk about it all the time. Show up, all right? Key to success. If you can show up all the time, no matter what, boom, you're like way ahead of like 90% of the people you're ever going to work with.
Well, and you use that first theme, Mike, when you're out you talk a lot with Teen Challenge, with other organizations. You hire people that have been formerly incarcerated. You give opportunities. Opportunity Zone lives inside your company, right? So when you're speaking to men, that's your number one thing you talk about when you start is always show up.
Show up no matter what, all the time, no matter what. Just if you become that guy that never, ever doesn't show up, no matter what, I will not be able to live without you. And you will, boom.
Sure, because now you've got someone that you can count on.
Yeah.
Someone that's dependable. That you can rely on, and you know that no matter what's going to happen that day, they're going to be there to take the reins and do the work. And yeah, there's so many people that don't show up either. Now you're talking about showing up not just physically,
Yeah. That's another one. Mentally, you got to show up mentally. We had a guy, really good guy, put gas in one of our diesel tractors. And so you took the thing off the handle, stuck it into a big round hole, put gasoline in it, says diesel right next to it. Okay, not quite good enough apparently. Okay, and then took it out, put it back, started it up, didn't run right, and none of those triggers said, "Hey, that was until there was and all of a sudden there's flames coming out of the smokestack. Okay, this apparently is a problem. Right?
Yeah,
it's like yeah. So just not only
wrong with the stack.
Yeah. So be here physically. That's really big.
Yeah,
you got to be here. But then please be here when you're here.
What kind of coaching do you do with your staff then, and your people to make sure that everybody is of the same mindset?
So we have these meetings. They're called L10 meetings, and all that is that when you're done with the meeting, you got to rank it. How good was it? And you want it to be a 10 out of 10. Anyway, so we have those meetings with our key management people, our leadership, and then the next level down is more of our operations guys. And we haven't fully implemented the whole system. It takes a couple years to really do it. We're a little more than a year into it, where we'll kind of do the same with everybody. But it keeps it on our minds all the time. And then quarterly, we meet with a consultant, and we basically review the last quarter and then map out the next quarter. And then they implement a few more of the strategies that are part of the whole process.
When we come back, I want to talk about grow or die.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about how this philosophy could be implemented in government.
Yeah.
When we come back from break. You want to take us out, Keith Reno? Because you always think I get so excited when we're going out to break. So you do it.
This is Real Estate Chalk Talk. Log on to our website, hittnergroup.com, hittnergroup.com, or give us a call at 612-627-8000.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for sticking around. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. 612-627-8000 is the number to call. Mike from RTD Companies is here, and we're going to talk about this grow or die philosophy and how that, I get it from a business owner standpoint. You always want your business to grow because things get more expensive, and so you need more money, and you just want to be successful, help more people. How does that permeate your organization?
So we have gotten into so many different things. So we wash parking garages. We now line stripe. We paint stripes, right? Because it's a parking garage, and we were referring that out, and then that was a problem, and it kind of goes against our core. And we've got into all these different services that are related, and they're always obvious. I always tell people, too, you don't really know exactly where the end is. You really just need to know where the next step is, and the next step always seems rather obvious. So we take that step. And if we hadn't done that, if we weren't into all these things, it would be a disaster, because our deck business, because you've maybe heard that a lot of people are putting money into travel and leisure and less money into services right now.
Okay.
And we've seen that dramatically with us. So our deck business is down by half. You can't go down by a half without catastrophic changes.
Right.
Now, our parking garage thing has grown so much that it's now our biggest thing. And we only started that like 6 years ago. And it's a miracle, because I just think, where would I be? It would not be good. Our fleet business has grown really well, to our fleet washing business. The line striping we just really started it last year, so that'll take a few years. It's already getting great traction, but it takes years to build it into something where it can really actually contribute.
Right, and you have a natural in on your parking garage
we do.
business as well,
so
that'll pick up.
Yep, it's going well. So that's where the growth thing part is. Like, if we weren't that company, oh boy, I don't think we'd still be here.
So when you say you're going to grow that business, we'll take the striping business as an example. Do you have a dedicated salesperson there? I mean, how do you grow? How do you do that? Do you have someone on the phones cold calling, or what do you do?
So we have a couple salespeople. One, Jammery, and she does fleet. She does car washes, and she does graffiti. And then we have a gentleman named Sean, and he does parking garages, line striping, building washing.
So you go out actually and paint graffiti on walls?
Right.
You got somebody hunting where the graffiti is.
Yeah. You ever seen that Far Side where the guy's holding a rock? And there you can see the glass window is broken, and the note says, there's a note attached to the rock that says, "Broken glass, call Bob's Glass Repair."
Did you say Far Side?
Far Side. Remember that? Long time ago.
When they were newspapers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have people actually out cold calling and selling that business and specifically finding out who the owners are. Hey, I drove in your parking lot last week. I couldn't figure out where to park because there's no stripes on it. How about we come out and stripe your lot?
Right, that's right. And we're online, of course, pay-per-click, all that.
Okay, so now how can we transfer these 4 core beliefs, if you were to, into government? Because it seems to me if it works in the private sector, it could work in government too if there was a mindset to that.
Okay, I'm running, right?
Tell me about that.
Okay, so and I don't know what the rules are, so I
don't know what the rules are.
I don't want you to get you guys in trouble.
We're just talking to Mike.
Okay, so for months, I was calling the Republican Party saying, hey, would you please let me run for something? Mm-hmm. And they would never call me back. It would never get an answer to the phone. Nobody called me back. Finally, some guy called me back. I said, look, I would just like to run for something. Could I please run for something? And
you love that?
Yeah. Just I want to help. I want to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me some questions. He goes, okay, well, there's a house seat. All the house seats are up for every 2 years, I guess. There's a house seat open, and there's nobody that's running for it. So my opponent is running unopposed, which annoys me beyond belief. It's like, oh, what? We're not even trying? Really? Yeah. We're not even trying.
Right.
I said, well, yeah, please.
Because all the Republicans are working.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, kind of.
That's
you guys. I'm already learning a lot, and I don't know anything. So anyway, you go to this. They said we're going to have a nomination convention, so we'll have you there, which is 4 people in the basement of a library. That's what a nomination convention is. And they said, well, just tell us about you. Who are you? Mm-hmm. And I just I have got kids and this and that, and I have a business that I've had in St. Paul in this district literally for 29 years.
Mm-hmm. District 65B.
65B. It's St. Paul, downtown St. Paul.
So what are you running for?
House, Minnesota House Representatives.
Minnesota House, okay.
Minnesota House.
Yeah,
there it is. Hillborn for Minnesota is the website.
Okay.
I like it.
And so, then when I said that, we're a second chance employer, so some of our employees are guys that have been, or women too, but incarcerated or are in recovery. And they just, boom, they're just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You have a great story. So so that's been really, really well received. So like Kelvin just showed you, I've got a website up. I'll have brochures and flyers probably in a week. And then I start going door to door, and they say, you got to knock. They said, your job is to knock on doors and raise money.
We like Mike.
Yeah, isn't that clever?
Knock on doors and raise money.
Yeah, so I got to go knock on doors.
Painful.
Yeah, well, I talked to, there's a guy named, maybe you know him, his name's Dan Hall. He was
Mike's got the gift of gab.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
But a senator that was here in Burnsville and part of Bloomington, and he was a senator for 10 years, been retired for 3, and because that sounds horrible to me too, like beyond belief.
Yeah.
And he goes after 5.
You're good.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then I talked to this other guy, Danny Nadeau, amazing. And there's an app. This is so cool, you guys. There's this app that has every single voter on your phone, and they'll tell you who they are. They're either red Republican, something in the between, or blue. He goes, I don't even talk to Republicans. They're going to vote for me anyway.
Yeah, you go hit all the
Why would I even talk to them? So
yeah.
his whole thing is independents. These are the people that are going to vote me in, are the independents. And then did you know how the whole financing thing works?
No.
It's pretty amazing. So I can only raise $80,000, and I won't even come close to that, but you can only raise $80,000. I can only put in $5,000 of my own money, and this Dan Hall said don't put in any, but I put in a little. An individual can put up to $1,000. If you get 30 people to donate 50, the state will give you some money. So they'll give you like $8,000. So there you go.
And that goes towards your, what did you say?
Well, then, it goes, signs, business
printed
cards, flyers,
Yeah.
website, social media, stuff like that.
So
It's my homepage, Keith.
what makes you want to do this?
Well, grow or die is a good one, right? But Jan Marie kind of, there's always like 100 reasons why you do everything,
Okay.
right? But Jan Marie gets annoyed with me. She goes, okay, would you stop talking about it? Would you please just do something? It's like, okay, well, there you go. So I'm going to run, and I'm going to give it a good shot.
Okay.
And it's an uphill battle, but I'm going to do my best.
So your incumbent, how long is the incumbent
This
been?
is her second. Her first time was just her last time.
And what does your ratio in your district look like?
Well, I will not get any money from the Republican Party.
Why?
Because there's no way.
Because there's no Republicans.
There's no way this is
There's no Republicans in the district.
Well, they're right.
There's 10.
So we'll see what happens.
And you're one of them.
We're going to see what happens.
But you said if we raise so much money, then they'll give you some money.
Yeah. And
So
here's what's
we can
crazy too. $75. If you guys were to give me $75, all you do is fill out a form. It's on my website, and the state sends you $75. You don't have to even really give me money. You just have to be the intermediary person to do it for me. But I'm hoping I've got some wealthy people that kick in a little extra. It would be nice to have at least 50,000 because I think we have a chance to win of all years. This one, because it's crazy what's going on in our House, because it's all three branches now are 100% Democrat. So they don't even talk to the Republicans, is what I'm being told.
Right.
And they're doing
everything they want. It's
anything
like
they
Looney
want.
Tune City.
It's unbelievable. And the example is one, and this won't be exactly right, but you'll get the idea. They had to vote on something that was 1,800 pages, that there wasn't even a copy of it, or either a paper copy or an electronic copy to even look at it, and they passed it. Right? It's like that's how we're running things now. And they said that last year they did the same thing, and they said only 5% of the rules have even been written on all the laws that were passed last year. That's how far behind they are. Because they passed basically the law, whatever, and then somebody has to actually
figure out how you
write what it is.
Yeah.
This sounds really bad.
You imagine running your business that way, Mike?
It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and here's another one, really bad. The whole show up thing. The Democrats passed a rule that you don't even have to show up for the vote anymore. You can just call it in. So to get a quorum is just a phone call.
Yeah.
And we've been a state for 150 years? You had to drive down from International Falls to vote on stuff.
To vote.
100 years ago.
Right.
Now, you can just phone it in. It's really bad, you guys.
So you're going to fix it.
I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to do my best.
Maybe run for a federal office.
One step at a time here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he knows the next step.
Well, I'm going to learn a lot here. Right? Obviously, this is going to be a big roar or die
What's
thing.
the website? You know the website.
It's Hillborn4Minnesota.com.
And you can either spell out Minnesota or just go
Or you can
MN.
go on the short MN.
You got both of them.
So we're talking about citizen government here.
Yeah, it's what it's supposed to be.
It is
right?
what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, see what I can do.
Pretty cool. We're going to head out to break here. You're going to hang out for the fourth segment,
Absolutely,
right?
I wouldn't miss
always
it.
do. This is Real Estate Chalk Talk. Log on to our website, hittnergroup.com, HITTNER group.com. Or give us a call, 612-627-8000. That number again is 612-627-8000.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. 612-627-8000. 651-231-2500. That's the number to call for the great rates, the low interest rates, the low mortgage costs. Everyone else can, when you call Kelvin, if you qualify for at another mortgage company, you call Kelvin and you can actually have more purchasing power because of his programs that he's got. So if you want to buy the bigger house, you can't afford it. If you qualify for XYZ company, come to Loan Depot with Kelvin Kamick and
we'll get going.
Get you going into a nicer home, better fits your current lifestyle, fits your family.
Sounds good. That's a great pitch. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Kelvin. I so appreciate it. What do you got?
Rates, let's just touch on, give me a quick market update because people like to hear
quick market update. We got homes for sale in Minnesota now. 13,910 homes for sale in Minnesota. That's up 16% from last
in Minnesota,
year.
Not
in the greater Minnesota.
So now you change your criteria. Every other time it's
I got a
7-county metro.
Yeah, it's just under 7,000 homes on the market. 6,900.
7-county metro.
7-county metro.
7-county metro.
Yep.
Is it the state? What are we talking?
Yeah, we're talking 7-county metro now. About 6,900 homes on the market. 6,643. Sorry. Homes on the market in 7-county metro, about 1,000 homes a week rolling through the system, 24 days or so on the market, and statewide it's about 37 days on the market. Pretty balanced market, actually. We're coming into summer. We're going to have a normal year cycle, I think we're going to have, where our 3 trimesters, where we have a little dip in the summer, slows down as people take advantage of our beautiful weather that we're having.
Painful weather. All right. So
get out to the lakes, saddle up because the mosquitoes will carry you away this year, baby.
Do you spray your yard?
Yes, we have it fogged
Do
once a
you,
month.
Junior?
Yeah. Oh,
Do you?
yeah.
I have not this year, so
Have
I
to.
wonder if I should do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, let's
especially with
talk.
yours, you'd be
It's
right
going
on
to
the
be.
pond there. Oof.
Let's talk mortgage interest rates real quick. We had another, just stable week, right?
Mhm.
So we're in the high 6s, low 7s, kind of depending on type of property, credit, primary residence, second home, investment property. All those factors come into play, but you're looking at high 6s, low 7s for 30-year fixed money. So we're okay. It's not prohibiting anybody from making a move right now. I feel like everybody's kind of into where rates are. The one thing that's shifted that we talk about even in the intro is the free money.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to touch on that real quick again. There's a number of programs, first generation. So if you are the first person in your family to purchase a home, there's additional monies available for you up to $35,000. You can layer that with other down payment assistance programs, which is crazy. I've got my third one I did this week, $51,500 of free money. So these people are coming in literally with $1,000 to buy a new home, yet their loan is 80% loan to value because we're using this free money.
Is that forgivable? They have to pay that back later? How does that work?
Well, that's the catch, right? So most of these programs, if you go to refinance, you're going to have to subordinate because it's a silent. Remember back in the day we had silent seconds,
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is kind of like that silent second. So it's there. You owe it back, but you only pay it back when you sell or refinance. So there's sometimes there's a payment on that second depending on your income. Sometimes there's no payment on that second. But when you go to sell or refinance, you're still there. On some of the first generation money, on the one program we have forgiven, half of it's forgiven after 10 years, 100% is forgiven after 20 years of living in your home. Again, I think what's going to happen is people are going to forget because we're forgetful, and then they're going to go to sell and like, oh my gosh, I got all this equity, and then they go, oh crap.
Then they're going to sue you because they claim they were defrauded.
Yeah, because now there's this extra
there'll be class
lien here.
action.
I was told that was free money. I was told that was a grant.
Yeah.
I listened to this radio show.
Yep, exactly.
And they said, so it's not forgiven. We have another program though, Keith, that it is 20% is forgiven every year for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, it's gone. That's $32,000, and you can layer that now with another 18 and all that.
So here's an example because I asked Kelvin. We have 65 North Winthrop Street in St. Paul coming on the market. Okay, so it just came out and it's coming soon this week. So it's $330,000. And this is what Kelvin sent me. So these are the down payment assistance programs that this property could qualify for depending on who's buying it. $35,000 in that first generation, $18,000 in Mahafa, $16,500 in Minnesota Housing Finance, $16,500 or 5% of the purchase price in the CBC a mortgage deal, $16,500 in another CBC mortgage fund, $32,000 or 10% of the purchase price in a Midwest Community Development Corporation.
That's what I was just telling about. Yep.
And $16,500 from Loan Depot itself in a Loan Depot Access Zero program.
Correct.
Think of all of that money that's available to people. And Kelvin was telling me at Coffee Clutch this morning.
They still want us to own homes then, right?
Well, you know what a lot of this is? COVID money.
Huh.
Spend it or lose it.
Okay.
So they're just spending it.
Okay.
Heaven forbid you give it back.
Sure.
Couldn't be doing that. But Kelvin was talking about this morning, he's got a loan closing that's 80% loan to value, and they've got zero money into it.
Yep.
It's all grant programs.
Yep.
Wow, look at that.
So there's money available, right? Yeah. So there's money available, and but man, it's not just going to the internet and clicking on and saying.
It's all funny money. It's like just
it is funny money.
It's funny
numbers
money
on the computer screen that are moving from here to there.
Yep. X's and O's.
And the amount of the debt that's there, it's like it doesn't make sense to just to give it back because it's like a drop in the bucket.
Yep. So let's get back to so give me a call. You need to have a conversation with someone because there's no way you're going to figure this out by going online, what's my lowest mortgage interest rate? And by the way, the rates are set on these programs by the state as well. So the rate is a little higher than what we could get for you just traditionally.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your own money down and all that, then it's
you can get a little bit better, right?
Less expensive for you.
So But let's have a conversation.
But if you have 20% that is being charged nothing,
I know, right?
Then that makes that
That's
little higher rate
seven
down
and
the 80.
Their rate right now is 7.25, right?
Yeah,
and
not
we
so
can probably
painful.
get you 6.875, 6.99 in there. So yeah, it makes sense to use it. But you need to have a conversation, and that's where everything starts. So give me a call, 651-231-2500. I want to get back to District 65B Senate race or House race. And I want everybody to go to hillborn4minnesota.com and learn about Mike Hillborn. So tell us, Mike and I went out and had dinner last week, and we were talking about where do you stand on these issues and stuff like that. So kind of touch on I'm on your site right now, so touch on your issues, where you stand. You have free speech, taxes, schools, crime, homelessness, common sense. So hit on something.
I'm
there.
updating that website, so it's going to change a lot.
Oh,
Oh, is it? Okay.
Because he's been writing.
So he doesn't-
It's all new, man.
He's been writing white
He doesn't
papers.
believe any of this.
No, I do. But man, I tell you, this is not in my wheelhouse. So this is going to be really good stuff. You know how you have to talk to people and you kind of know what you think,
Yeah.
but you really wish you knew more.
Yeah.
You know? I'm going to have to learn to know more. You know,
Yeah.
so you know, remember Kelly McEnany, how she'd walk up to that big 3-ring binder when she was Trump's
Yeah.
press secretary, and you know she'd like turn to
Flip
pages.
through, yeah.
I'm building one of those because
Okay.
how can you remember all this stuff?
can't. You can't.
It's just too much, right? So, all right. So, and I talked to another guy, Danny Nadeau. He's awesome, to try to really, zone in on what you talk about.
Yep.
And there's a whole bunch of stuff that you don't want to talk about. And I'm just you want to do that thing in the middle thing, right? It's like, okay, the goal is to win, right? And you don't want to betray who you are and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to do that. But they're saying, okay, Mike, you got to be down the middle, because if you go over here,
You're going to get killed.
That's how you lose
it's
a
like,
governorship.
okay, that's fine, because there's plenty in the middle to work on, right? So affordability is kind of the big one. We got to make this world more affordable. And all these regulations, all the stuff that we're doing is just taxes. It's just everything's getting so expensive. Do you guys know that we're the 5th highest tax state in the country now?
Yep.
We're ahead of New York.
Yeah.
How is that possible? But it's out of control. Law and order, of course. And that whole, one of the things I have on there is common sense, right? It's like, okay, if we could just go back to what really, just think about it just for a second, makes sense.
What makes sense?
Yeah. How did defund the police ever get to be a conversation?
Yeah.
What was anybody thinking on that? I don't get that.
Fringe group pushed that agenda.
And then they put it in the paper to talk about.
Yeah.
And who does it hurt the most?
But
The
people
poor and the people that are in the
poor-
highest crime
poor,
areas.
yep.
Those are the people that
Right.
are getting shot.
because
and
the
killed.
cops won't go into those neighborhoods anymore.
Yeah. So I just think that's unbelievable. Education, okay, academically challenging, safe. And then if we could really get away from the indoctrination part and try to teach our kids that the United States is a horrible place. Let's go back to it. Look, this is an amazing place. What I say to people too is like, okay, and I'm probably not supposed to say this, but this is like literally the least racist country in the world by far. I mean, if you look at who we've had presidents and senators and mayors, it's just nonstop. And then kind of what I look at too is if you went to France, if any of us went to France, how long would it take for the 4 of us to be considered a Frenchman?
Yeah.
Ever?
Never.
Never.
An Englishman.
Right.
If you went to Japan, would you ever be Japanese?
No.
Okay. You step foot in this country and you're an American. I think that's amazing.
I think
so. Let's please, like Morgan Freeman, if we could just recognize our successes, that would be great. Okay.
You have 10 seconds.
10. Okay. Well, there you go. Then parental rights, I think, is a big one. Who loves your kids, you or the government? Let's really have the parents take care of that.
All right.
Give your website.
Hillborn4minnesota.com. If you could send me $75, you get all the money back from the state. That'd be awesome.
Real Estate Chalk Talk. That's it for this week. See you next week.
You've been